What do John Lennon, Freddie Mercury, Jimi Hendrix, D'Angelo, Kendrick Lamar, Aretha Franklin, and Sade all have in common? To answer that, I think we need to dissect another question first. What do you want from your music? Could be money, could be fame, but I would argue that if you are sitting here watching this video, your deepest desire for your music and yourself as an artist is to fully express yourself through your music. For myself, as well as any of my artist friends, that is the common factor. No matter what genre, sonic palette, lyrical style, or any of the thousands of other variations that makes our music sound similar or different, we are all on the endless pursuit of authenticity.
Authenticity is not just pure intention that if you have it, then you have it, and the products that you produce are going to be authentic because you did it authentically. It's more accurately a process where your and my consciousness and thoughts are guided to a place of mutual integrity via well-placed words and actions. Shit is authentic when you manage to get in the other person's head the way that you are in your head. Authenticity is often not a default state of being that you have to alter with deception. It's like a destination you must arrive at with effort and technology and language.
So going back to our question of what do all of those legendary artists have in common, right? Why are they going to be part of the pantheon of historic musical greats that we so badly want to be a part of? I would argue it's because they found themselves in their music and they found a way to communicate that to us as the listeners. We see them as authentic, we see them as individuals, we see them as fully unique unto themselves, we see them as one-of-a-kind artists who each have their own DNA. And that part right there, I would argue is the most important thing to figure out, the DNA. So how do you find your musical DNA? That right there is the question that I have been asking myself in my work as an artist and a producer for the last 12 years. And I think I'm finally starting to wrap my head around what goes into this process of DNA soul searching that we all should go through. So it's great to have influences. We all should have influences, but how do you take those influences and how do you turn them into unique inspiration? The answer is understanding why you are drawn to certain genres and sounds.
Tuning into myself and being honest with myself and anything I can do to get closer to understanding what I like and why I like it and what I don't like and why I don't like it is helpful in the work that I do.
For instance, I can love, and I do love, 90s East Coast hip hop, but what is it about that time, that sound, that genre that influences me enough to seep into everything I touch, right? No matter what genre, no matter what sound, no matter where I go, what is it about my love of 90s East Coast hip hop that follows me? Well, what I've come to is that it's the texture. There's a very distinct texture in pretty much all of 90s East Coast hip hop that comes from the fact that everything pretty much was sampled from vinyl and then it was mixed in a way that really communicates the environment that it came out of, the streets of New York. That's why when you listen to an album like Nas's seminal 90s classic Illmatic, you're transported to that world. You can smell the air, you can feel the hum of the cars driving down the street next to you, you can feel the hustle and bustle of a city street. Texture binds 90s East Coast hip hop together like nothing else. It's something that almost every single artist from that region during that time share in common. So what about a genre like pop, right? It's pretty broad. Well, for me, it's the catchiness of the melodies, it's the singability, and it's the songwriting structure of pop that I love so much. If I take the gritty texture of 90s East Coast hip hop, and I take the catchiness and singability of pop, and I combine those two things, and then I layer over top of it, writing about my unique lived experience, I have come out with something that is fully authentic to me. I have taken something that inspires me, I filtered it through my brain, my ears, my creative process, and I come out with an interpretation of my influences. I think another really important element to this true authenticity in our art is always operating in service of the art that wants to be created rather than in service of our egos. One of the biggest mistakes that I see artists make all the time is worrying about how their art will be received rather than just creating a sound that excites them and then following where that sound takes them.
I can't predict what someone else would like, and I don't think anybody can. So if I'm authentically true to myself, that's the best chance of someone else liking something.
When we worry so much about what other people are going to think of our music while we're creating it, we rob ourselves of a fulfilling creative process. You just simply cannot know how your art is going to be received, ever. Take an iconic song like Bohemian Rhapsody. It is thoroughly documented how discouraging the labels were of that song being released. They were just confused by it. They tried to do everything they could to cut it, redo parts, or just not have it released at all. But the band stuck to their guns. They served the art that felt authentic, and look where it brought them. Even people who don't know music know that song, and they know it because it's iconic and it's different. It combines classical music, opera, rock, choral music, and so many other genres into this monstrous 6-minute masterpiece. When we pursue creating with the goal of creating something we love, not only is it a smoother creative process from start to finish, but the final product is gonna be something that you look back on and feel proud of. And by extension, it's going to find others that resonate with what you love so much about it, and they're gonna feel the same way. They're gonna love it. They're gonna hold it as their own, and it's gonna mean something to them. Authentic art will find an authentic audience, always, at some point in time. So focus on the joy of the process. Don't let worry influence your creative decisions, and make something that you love, that you're proud of, that you feel communicates the thing you were trying to communicate. I know that is way easier said than done, but that's another video, and it's all part of the learning process.
I think that individuality is a wonderful thing. It's the reason why, the West Coast own Tyler the Creator and Our Future, and none of those guys sound alike, yet and still they're all out at the same time,
right,
doing their prospective things, right? So it's betting on yourself and betting on your difference.
Another commonality that I see between all great artists is their ability to take sonic risk. Take the previously mentioned Bohemian Rhapsody, or Kendrick Lamar's seminal album To Pimp a Butterfly. This work transcends time because it is not a product of its time, at least not sonically. They take the full breadth of their influence and they combine it in intuitive ways to create something that is cohesive but transcendent of trends or charts. And I'd argue that this isn't something that's altogether conscious. It isn't something that's super premeditated. Nothing reads pretentious like an artist trying to defy the norm or do something that's never been done. The fact of the matter is, somebody has probably used at least a portion of that melody that you're thinking of, or somebody has probably put together a very similar beat or bass line. And we all know that somebody has definitely used that chord progression, right? There's only so many possible chord progressions. But what if you take that singer-songwriter chord progression that you really, really love and you picked up from your favorite Bob Dylan song, and you mix that with your favorite synth sound that's always being used and all that really cool synth pop that you love? And what if you take that really gnarly, messy mixing from garage punk, and what you've done is you've created something that's fully unique, not because every single element is that unique unto its own. It's unique because you put two and two together in a distinctly you way. And that will always be a risk. There is no blueprint for those kinds of sounds. There's no grid you can stick to. You won't be able to classify genre because you'll be creating it. Or even if you do fit in a genre, there's nothing wrong with that, but there will always be that certain something that people can't pinpoint that keeps them coming back for more. That X factor, that secret sauce. It's you. Your best music your most authentic sound. The sound that everyone will attribute to you as an artist is only found when you distill all the influences that you love and are inspired by down, and you filter it through the one of one filter that is your unique personality. That is the music you are looking for. That is the sound that you are dying to create. That is your artistic DNA. It takes evolution, it takes discomfort, it takes risk, and it takes awareness, but it is so worth it. And the payoff of hearing yourself come through these speakers is one of the most rewarding experiences you can ever experience. I truly, truly hope that every single one of you watching this video gets to experience that at some point. If you have not already, if you have experienced it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The thrill of expressing something exactly the way you wanted to express it is absolutely crazy. It's next level. It is the high that I will be chasing for the rest of my life. Anyways, I really appreciate you watching this video. I hope it was helpful. If you liked it, please subscribe. There's going to be a ton more coming this year. And remember to always stay consistent and don't let anything stand in the way of you making the music that you dream of creating.